Hello everybody, it's your boy Proftrof and we're back again with another video. This is the Florida man tier list. On the last Charlie video, people let me know that this thing exists. And I love Florida. Listen, Florida is an awesome place. It has all sorts of wild people over there, from what I've seen on the internet. I've never been to Florida, probably never will be to Florida, but Charlie's from Florida, so I mean, is he gonna be on this list? Let's see.
I've lived in Florida my whole life. Don't feel bad, save your tears and sympathy for someone else, because I don't fucking need them. Living in this wasteland has made me a stronger man. It's taught me discipline, taught me to say no to bath salts, taught me to run away from old men at the beach. Invaluable life lessons that you can't learn anywhere else. And over the last decade or so, people have really been making fun of Florida, if you can even believe that. Mainly for their crazy headlines like, Florida man sticks bottle rockets up his asshole at the zoo, hops the fence at the alligator exhibit, charges alligators with bottle rockets flying out of his colon, spectators traumatized. And this whole Florida...
That might be... He might have just come up with that, but it's Florida. So it might actually have happened.
The man epidemic. And I thought, well, I've lived here for so long, I think I'm the only one qualified enough to rank these Florida men stories. So today is going to be a nice little Florida man tier list, so let's just go ahead and get right into this here.
Okay.
The first story here is just a classic Florida fairy tale. Man strips naked at a Chick-fil-A and chases strangers around, screaming for them to look at his penis. When officers arrive at the scene, he demands the officers look at his penis and his ass. Hitting the officers with the wombo combo. In the body cam footage, you can hear him say, "Look at my ass, how do you feel?" Reminds me of something a therapist would say when they hold up the ink blots and then say, "Hey, are you getting an emotional response? Rorschach, are they making you feel something?" So perhaps it wouldn't be too big of a leap to say that maybe this man was just trying to look out for the mental health of everyone at the Chick-fil-A by proudly parading his cock, balls, and ass around. Now, overall, this story isn't special. This is happening at every Chick-fil-A on a weekly basis in Florida. I can't even remember the last time I dined at a Chick-fil-A without a floppy penis in front of my face. I just thought it'd be good to ease us on into this with a common occurrence story like this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at a D tier rating here just because it is very bland. It's like the vanilla ice cream of Florida man stories. This next story is one I'm sure we're all familiar with by now, and it revolves around bath salts. The story that put bath salts on the map. In 2012 in Miami, a homeless man was eating the face off of another homeless man due to being under the influence of bath salts. Everyone speculated this could be the first outbreak of a zombie apocalypse or something. The doomsday
actually think it's...
where zombies befall all of us and eat all of our fucking faces off. This was massive. This was like the new boogeyman. Parents would tell their kids, eat those vegetables, or a bath salt addict is going to bust through the window and eat your face off. It was terrifying, but I think it's very important that we put this on the tier list to highlight the dangers of bath salts, as well as just remember how close we were to some type of Resident Evil future with bath salts and
umbrella. What the fuck y'all up to?
At a B ranking,
so
and
he
it really
didn't
was
like human's face.
Horrible, but this story was so massive that it's impossible to ignore when talking about Florida. It's something that Florida's become known for with its bath salts, and then
y'all eat faces over there.
Because it happened a couple times, if I remember correctly. But I just wanted to talk about the most famous one here. And since we
another reason why I'm never going to Florida. Jesus Christ.
Talking about zombies and eating faces off, let's talk about State of Survival. If you want to be prepared for the zombie apocalypse, you can try State of Survival.
The most fun way of preparing for apocalypse is through State of Survival, the zombie-themed survival strategy mode.
Nice little in-game starter pack to help you build up your settlements, speed ups, plenty of resources, as well as a rare hero named Rusty. So if you're interested, feel free. Now, buckle your seatbelts for this one. Really strap in, because this is a wild ride. In 2018, a 71-year-old man's body was found. He was shot in the chest, pronounced dead, and ruled a homicide. But there was no gun to be found, and it was a very mysterious death. With all the surveillance camera footage they had, everything just seemed very fishy. Was the Zodiac killer back? What had happened to this 71-year-old man who had no enemies or anyone that would want him dead? His wallet and everything wasn't taken. It wasn't some kind of robbery. So the question becomes, who killed this man and why? In a case fit for Sherlock Holmes, these detectives had a Herculean task in front of them. Over the next few weeks, they made little progress in cracking this case. There was no signs of a struggle. It clearly...
Alright, one second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
It wasn't a robbery. They had no really good leading theories on what went on. They could have fucking speculated Slender Man had killed this guy for all they knew.
So a serial killer?
It wasn't until they finally unlocked his phone that they started to notice some very odd things. Firstly, he had purchased a 600-gallon weather balloon and a 40-cubic-foot helium tank. This was very out of character for this particular man, according to his family. And then it was at this point that they started to actually walk the trail they found him on and found a very odd discrepancy in the time between the gunshot and the time it actually takes to walk from the entrance where he was picked up on camera to where he was ultimately shot. It was at this point that a man named Detective Brian hatched this crazy fucking tinfoil condom conspiracy theory where he said it's not a homicide. It was a suicide. Detective Brian speculated that this particular 71-year-old gentleman had purchased a weather balloon, rubber bands, this helium tank, and had tied a gun to a string, shooting himself in the chest with the gun and having the weather balloon carry the gun away, getting rid of the evidence. This man is like the fucking L from Death.
Why would what if he survives? Well, what if they do? What?
No, with this kind of theory. But as it would turn out, after unlocking his phone, going through his search history, the 71-year-old man was Googling how to commit suicide, how much helium is required to carry an item that weighs X amount of pounds away, and all kinds of things that would indicate that he was researching how to shoot himself and then carry the gun away on a weather balloon. The reason for why still remains a mystery to this day. But this case has officially been ruled a suicide, and the most likely place where he learned this method came from an episode in 2003 of CSI Las Vegas where they weather ballooned a gun out of a crime scene. They have no fucking idea why he did this and faked his own murder. Maybe he just wanted to create a little mystery for detectives to solve, just to challenge them or something, to make sure they were fit for their position. No one has any fucking clue there. But I know that everyone says everyone in Florida is really goddamn stupid, just a bunch of fucking idiots living in Florida, but I think this man proves them all wrong. But this was nearly the perfect crime, and he would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling wives unlocking his phone, because if they hadn't unlocked his phone and saw a search history, they would still have no idea what happened. I'm definitely putting this at an S-tier Florida man story. This next story is pretty brand new. This happened very recently with a Florida man clinging to the hood of a semi-truck and riding it for 9 miles in what is a high-octane, full-throttle, nuts-to-butts action sequence. So in the video, you can see the man on the hood of the semi-truck. He's banging on the window's cracked. The truck driver's panicking, swerving, braking hard, trying everything he can to get this man off his hood, damn near trying to do like a fucking backflip with his semi-truck to get him off, and it's not working. This man has got the death grip on the hood. This shit looks like a scene out of Fast and Furious or Mission Impossible. Like, who's to say this isn't Tom Cruise doing a stunt on the highway? Now, we don't know what led to this whole ordeal here. Maybe a verbal argument where the truck driver said, hey, kissing your sister is bad, and this guy took offense and hopped on the hood. There's really no telling. Plugging this into the tier list, this is an easy A. Now, there are going to be some people that fight me on this ranking. I understand that, but I'm going to defend it. Even though the camera work here is great, the people that film this did a fantastic job. Hats off to them. Sloppy kisses on the lips for them because the filming here is wonderful. The only thing it's lacking is an explanation. I don't know the lore. I don't know why this has happened. And actually, I kind of...
Isn't that pretty much all of these? Why did he do that? Why did the dude chew the other dude's face off? Why was this dude naked wanting people to look inside his butthole? That's Florida.
Would have liked to see a little more action.
Why?
Like some
It doesn't
Michael Bay
exist
shit.
there.
Maybe there's some trees exploding in the background. Maybe an attack helicopter gets involved chasing or something, you know? I just feel like there was room for even more crazy shit to happen.
More effects?
But as it is, it's a fantastic Florida man freak out.
Put the road on
Let's go
fire.
ahead and tackle what everyone kind of knows Florida for, alligators. For some reason, alligators are so central to the image of Florida that it's one of the first things people picture right next to incest. So we're going to go ahead and go through some alligator stories here, kind of speed run them, because there was a fucking ton of these, so we just chose some of the best ones that we could find. So the first one here is pretty recent. A few years ago, a man was arrested for throwing a live 3-foot alligator through the drive-thru window of a Wendy's. We don't know exactly what motivated him to do this. Perhaps it was for a viral TikTok challenge. There's really no telling, but the man was charged with aggravated assault. I don't know if the alligator was charged, but I do...
No assault with a deadly weapon? Come on, bro, it's alligator.
Hope the alligator finds some better friends. Now, this is definitely a C-tier story. Perhaps there's more to this, like maybe it's some Guardians of the Galaxy shit where maybe this alligator is this guy's sidekick, you know? Maybe they're like a tag team of crime or something. But it's not the greatest Florida man story out there. And it would have been even cooler if he was like akimboing alligators, like dual-wielding them, and then tossed them both in or something. That would have at least brought it up to a B.
Main door so no one escapes.
But this shit is a terrible fucking prank if that's what it was. This next story comes from Jacksonville, where a Facebook prankster goes into a convenience store with a live alligator and chases a man around pretending that he's mad about the last bit of beer. He was clearly doing this as a joke and then grabs his little Miller Lite to butt chug in the bathtub later and throw up. This is absolutely an F-tier Florida man story. This shit fucking sucks. Facebook pranksters suck. This whole thing is garbage.
The alligator's mouth is not covered in anything. It can still bite. It's not that big, but bro, I don't want to get bitten by an alligator, any type of alligator.
Just chasing people with an alligator in a store. It's some cruel garbage. Absolute fucking trash. Now, this next one's actually a heartwarming story. Most Florida men just kick and beat up alligators or rape them. Just some fucking terrible shit. Most Florida men just kick and beat up alligators or rape them. Just some fucking terrible shit that these Florida inbreds do to alligators. But this guy is actually very sweet. He treats them like little family pets by reading them stories and singing to them. And recently he's been doing it during the pandemic to keep them calm and relaxed. He was worried the alligators were stressing, so he began reading some like Dr. Seuss books to them and singing some songs like Wonderwall and shit in their exhibit. And it's actually just adorable. This is a heartwarming tale involving Florida men and alligators, so this one's definitely going up there at a nice, cool B-tier Florida man story. Now, this next story sounds like something out of Leonardo DiCaprio's Catch Me If You Can. So, a man in Daytona was being charged with threats against Chevrolet. He was demanding $50,000 in a 2019 Chevy Malibu, which looks like dog shit, by the way. No offense to Malibu drivers out there, but if you're gonna risk your fucking life for the sake of a car, you might as well choose a good car, like a Cybertruck or 2 school buses stacked on top of each other, or something fucking badass like a Mad Max mobile. But anyway, he wanted the Malibu, he wanted $50,000, and he was threatening to release customers' social security numbers that he had found.
That's illegal.
And in response, obviously Chevrolet filed charges against this man, and this guy hatched the genius idea of impersonating the prosecutors and having the charges dropped against himself. So his plan was pretty simple. He used the Florida bar numbers and the names of a couple prosecutors and filed a no information filing against himself, meaning there were no charges against him. Unfortunately, this man, being the fucking Neanderthal that he is, filed the wrong papers, and that triggered a lot of alarms, and they were able to deduce that this was not the actual...
you're telling me that if you filed the right, it would have worked? Wait, you're saying if he did not fuck it up, it could have worked?
Prosecutors, this was the man in question pretending to be them, which in and of itself carries multiple other felonies. So by impersonating these people, he got himself an additional 3 or 4 felonies, I think it was, and could face multiple decades in prison for it. And he is currently being held without bail. This right here is an A-tier Florida man scheme. This is absolutely fantastic. The only reason it's not an S-tier scheme is because I would have liked a little bit more ingenuity when it comes to impersonating. I mentioned Catch Me If You Can earlier. I think it was a lot more creative what he was able to do. This, he just looked up Florida bar numbers and some names and then pretended to file the documents. He grabbed some other papers as well and just kind of altered them a little bit. So he filed a lot of fraudulent shit, but nothing about it really screamed creative genius, you know what I mean? It could have been a lot more in-depth, but even as it stands, it's great. He got himself an additional couple decades in prison as a result of him trying to be some kind of super clever supervillain. So it's a very good story.
Decades in prison in Florida,
at least.
With alligators, probably.
Richie, a man was arrested for trying to steal a truck with a teen in the back seat of the truck. So of the 5 people that live in Newport Richie, unfortunately one of them turned out to be a criminal. And the story doesn't stop there. After this man was arrested, he was released from jail 3 days later and was again arrested in the parking lot for trying to steal a car.
Bro, my guy, you get arrested for stealing, you get released, and you're still in the parking lot. At least
that had an off-duty
go to
officer
another
inside
parking
of it.
lot.
He left the prison and he walked over to a car with an officer inside of it, yanked on the handle and tried to steal it, and was again arrested. So this was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy here. He kind of took care of himself. I think he just enjoyed being in jail and was trying to speed run going back. So this right here, I'm giving this a C tier ranking, and I look forward to revisiting this story in a year or so when he's arrested again for trying to steal an ice cream truck or something. These are all the Florida man stories that we wanted to cover this time around. Obviously, there's hundreds of thousands to choose from, but these were the ones that we remembered and definitely thought were worth ranking on a tier list, at least to start. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
What do y'all think? Okay, I have a question. If anyone's from Florida, how wild is it there? And which one was your favorite? I like the dude with the alligator actually chasing people. That was kind of wild. I mean, I don't like it, but it's just wild. You know, like, where does this happen? You grab an alligator and you chase people with an alligator. Like, just like, listen to that sentence. A man carrying an alligator chasing a man in a store. Like, what? That whole sentence is wild, y'all. That should not be happening. Like, what? Florida, bruh. Florida. Anyway, I'll leave y'all with that. Quick thank you to YouTubers and Patreons. Thank you all for the support. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little thumb thing, little bell thing, because YouTube's been like de-thinking it, clicking it for people. I don't know. It's a weird shit. I'll probably make a video about it, but whatever. Anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.